Alright, today we're going to be talking about product, subspace, and quotient topologies. So these are all three of these are essentially ways that we can build topologies from pre-existing topologies, right? So the first one is going to be the product topology. Oh, there goes. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, hello, sorry.
Yeah, you're fine. Okay. So the first thing is the product topology on the Cartesian product x and y, where x and y are topological spaces. We're going to call the topology of x t and the topology of y s. And this topology is going to be formed by a basis, which is going to equal the set of Cartesian products u times v, such that u is an open subset of x, and v is an open subset of y. So notice that, again, this is a basis for the product topology. So you're going to have open sets which aren't necessarily of the form u times v, right? So these are, I guess, consider in like a plane, right? You would have, imagine this is u, and then this is v. So you would have something of the form like a box, right? This is a basis element, and you could have another basis element. The union of these two basis elements is an open set, but it's not expressible in the form u times v, right? It doesn't take a box shape, but it's still an open set. So it's important to keep in mind the distinction that that these sets u times v are basis elements, but not necessarily all of the open sets, right? You're going to have more general open sets. You can also construct, I believe, a basis by choosing u and v from a given basis on the two topologies. But that's just like a side thing. You usually don't need that. The next thing, the subspace topology. Actually, no, I'm going to stick with. So this is the product topology on a product of two sets, right? And this generalizes nicely when you have like a finite product, x1 through xn, right? But actually, it doesn't work as nicely when you go to an arbitrary product. Sorry, I'm writing like slanted here. An arbitrary product, let's say for alpha and a, x sub a, or x sub alpha, you can sort of have two different topologies. One is called the box topology, and one is called the proper product topology. In the box topology, you have as a basis the set of products of open sets u sub alpha, where each u sub alpha is open in each x sub alpha, right? Or, it's u sub alpha is open in x sub alpha for each alpha in a. On the other hand, the product topology, the proper way to deal with it is the products are u sub alpha for alpha and a, where u sub alpha equals x sub alpha, except for finitely many alpha and alpha, right? So notice this is going to be the same when you have finite products, but when you go to an infinite number of products, you have to restrict yourself on the basis, and essentially you can't have all of the product components being less than like proper subsets of x sub alpha. And there's sort of like technical reasons for this that I won't get into, but it's important to know the distinction between these two topologies. The next thing is the subspace topology. So if y is any subset of x, then we can form a topology on y consisting of intersections y intersect u, where u is open in T, or u is an open subset of x, basically. This is a topology on y. Similarly, you can form a basis for this same topology if you have a basis for your topology on x. Is a basis element for tau, or t, on x, right? You also have some other nice properties, like if u is in T sub y, right? U is an open subset of y, and y is in T, so y is open in T, then u is open in T, right? So openness in an open set carries over to openness in X, essentially. And the reason why is that here we have u is going to be y intersect some other thing where u1 is an element of T. But if y is in T and u1 is in T, then the intersection of two open sets is open, so u is going to be contained in T. The next topology that we're going to consider is the quotient topology. First, we are going to consider x and y are topological spaces, right? So again, we're going to stick with the notation that x has a topology T and y has a topology S. So let P x to y be a surjective function, right? then we define P to be a quotient map if U is an open set, if and only if U is an open subset of Y, if and only if the inverse image of U with respect to P is open in T, right? P inverse of U is contained in the topology of X. It's an open subset of X. So in other words, a quotient map gives us sort of a one-to-one correspondence of the open sets in Y, or not a one-to-one correspondence, but it's saying that you can, the only way to be open in Y's topology is if your inverse image is open in X's topology. And then we call P a quotient map. Now let A be any set. Then if P from X to A is surjective, this is AC, there is a unique topology on A such that P is a quotient map. Right? Because this definition of a quotient map is literally telling you precisely what your open subsets have to be, right? Your open subsets are and only are the subsets such that their inverse images are open. And so this is the quotient topology on A, right? And that concludes this lecture. Do you have any questions?
No, I'm all clear. I got it.
All right, then that's it.